Shalom everyone, Shabbat Shalom, Parashat Shmini. In a few hours I'm going to be on a plane traveling to Hong Kong and Taiwan. You know, I lived in Hong Kong for 4 years, and whenever I'm being asked about this experience, I'm challenged with what was the hardest part. Being too far from home, from your parents, from your family, from your friends, not knowing the language. What was the obstacle? And I will always say the kosher food. Yes. You cannot imagine the challenge of being somebody who keeps kosher in a place like Hong Kong where there's nothing kosher around. Of course, there's a small Jewish community and there's a place to shop, but it's such a difficult challenge. And it's true about basically everything I do. When I travel the world, and I'm sure if I visit you and I met you in person, you know, we need to really manage what we take. Some vegetables, some fruits, a lot of obstacles on the way. And wherever we go, we have this in mind. What do we take? How do we prepare? I'm not going to talk about the challenges of keeping kosher, but I'm going to talk about the essential perspective and laws of kashrut, of kosher food, that are in this week portion. Just after the horrific story of Nadav and Avihu, the sons of Aaron, we are faced with the kosher animals. This animal is kosher and that animal is not kosher. What are the signs and what are the symbols to define which animal is kosher? And I'm not going to go into the details right now, but I'm going to challenge this question is how can we understand those laws? How can we understand those definitions? Why a snake is more problematic than a chicken and a frog is more problematic than a goat? And I want to try to present today three maybe ways to understand the challenge and three perspectives. Number one is a perspective of a rabbi that talked about the general notion. The fact that there are laws of kosher food means that we can sit on the same table. There is a guidelines. In the world that when people are going around and communicating with others, there's something essentially important that we share the same cuisine. And in a Jewish nation going into exile and in its land, we need to have a certain cuisine. So in that way, it's not important really what are the obstacles, but the fact that there's things that we can share on the same table and maybe also stay in our community and eat on the same table. Another way to look at it is a perspective that Rav Hirsch talks about, that the main animals that people eat, the goat, the cow, the chicken, are animals that can be controlled very easily by mankind. Think about it, that the other animals that are not kosher are animals that are more wild. And the goat, the sheep, the cow, the chicken are animals that are very simple to control, right? They're animals that help the human beings in their agricultural work in ancient times and in this time as well. What do you need to do to control a cow? Nothing. Put an harness on it and it's gonna go wherever you're gonna go. So these animals almost in a sense don't have, I would say, developed spirit or developed mind, therefore they could be kosher. It's true about the three animals, but I didn't get it with the chicken because the chickens are running everywhere. But this is, at least this is perspective. Another perspective that it can be explained in this is the fact that when we look at the different aspects of eating kosher, we're talking about something that in the end of the day is the divine essence of our life. What do I mean? In every law, and it's true about the book of Leviticus and the book before that and after, we are in a search of a meaning and we're looking to understand what's the story behind it. But the truth, when we talk about animals and this animal and that animal, sometimes it's really difficult to understand the difference. Why is that? Why is this one kosher and this is not kosher? This pure is not, this one is not pure. Maybe the whole kosher system and perspective needs to be as follows. You are eating this animal and you're not eating that animal because God said so. It is not something that can be explained by psychology. It's not because these animals are dirty or these animals bring diseases like some people say. It's not the fact that if you keep kosher, your health is going to be good, or it's going to bring you any psychological perspective of harvesting wild animals or less wild animals. Maybe kosher food is just a sense of a lesson being taught by God. I want you to live in a world that I control. And I'm telling you, God tells us these are things that you can eat and you cannot eat. And now the challenge is not even the fact this animal can be eaten and this is not. It's about the fact that there's a border lines of things that you are allowed to do and you're not allowed to do. And I think with that, eating altogether, food, is a very important element in Judaism. Some people say that our holidays are based on they wanted to kill us, they didn't succeed, let's eat. It's true in Passover, it's true in Hanukkah, it's true in Purim. There's a lot of elements in that we celebrate with food and wine. We eat every week on our Shabbat meal. So in every tradition, in every culture, there's a story of food, but I think in culture as well, it's a well-known fact that the Jewish mother, the Jewish family is based around it. The Shabbat meal, every week we have a dinner and a lunch like everybody has in their main holidays. I remember hosting people at my Shabbat, looking at the table and asking, this is what you eat every week? Maybe that's the reason. Kosher food in that way is a system and a guideline that tells you you're allowed to eat, you're allowed to enjoy life. But remember, control yourself. Some things are good, some things are bad, some things are positive, some things are negative. I will tell you, God says, what are the things you need to eat. Don't look for a reason. Don't search for a meaning. Maybe this is why we read in the beginning the story of the sons of Aaron. They both enter the temple, and the commentators ask what exactly happened there. Some say that they sacrificed a foreign fire. Some people say that they didn't want to get married. Some people say that they laughed in Moses and in Aaron. Maybe all of this comes for this essence as well. You're my kids, you're the priests, you're the people in charge of the temple. Do as I say. Trust the guidelines. Trust the manual. This all is going to make you not only a better person, but a person who follows God. Shabbat Shalom.